Hello and welcome to another Harsh Noise Gear review. I'm back with the Roland Alpha Juno 2. My voice is also a little harsh, so that's appropriate, I suppose. Anywho, the Roland Alpha Juno 2 is a 6-voice polyphonic synthesizer from 1985, and it has velocity and aftertouch that are really sensitive and expressive, especially even compared to modern synthesizers. Like, I've played with other things with velocity and aftertouch, and this kind of has it's very expressive. You'll see. It also has all these membrane buttons and presets in the alpha dial, and well, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We are going to go over the features of this thing, over the history of it, then the features. Then I'm going to show you the simple way I'm going to be controlling it. And we're going to go over the internal structure of the synth. And then we're going to do a bunch of noise patching with it, as well as throwing in some delay and distortion now and then. And we're kind of just going to be exploring this vintage synth and how it was a weird synthesizer and how you can do gnarly stuff with it. So first, a little bit of history. This thing came out in 1985, and it was kind of like a response to the DX7, because the DX7 was a really popular synth at the time, and it kind of had this layout of like membrane buttons and then one big dial and a lot of menu diving to get your sound. And that was not the reason the DX7 was popular. Well, there's many reasons, but the following the success of the Roland Juno 6 and 60, they released the and 106, which were big ones with sliders. They were like, okay, what if we made something that was like the DX7 and it was like less expensive and also like slimmer, smaller, but like same amount of keys, very expressive, very programmable. You can save all your presets, and very like you spend time crafting a sound. So they made the Juno Alpha 1 and 2. I have a Juno Alpha 2, and it's kind like I'm trying to sell this one because there was redundancy in my studio. If you watch my other videos, you know that I have a Juno 60, and I've had that Juno 60 since I was 15 years old, so it's got some sentimental value, so I'm keeping that one. This one has no sentimental value, and there's redundancy in my studio, so I'm trying to flip it. But let's go over it first, because this is really fun, and I have had some chance to play with it before I pass it on. And yeah, this was one of the earliest keyboards with velocity and aftertouch as well. And even though like it doesn't have advanced aftertouch beds really at all, it's using the same like Yamaha 80s membrane cheapo like buttons, rubber buttons underneath the keys. And so you're just pushing down on those. It's nothing fancy, but like it's kind of cheap. It's kind of a toy, but like it's kind of amazing, because the digital divisions of the oscillators in this thing get so low and so growly that it's nasty. Okay, let's go over some of the features of this thing. So this is the view I'm mostly going to have it in because, well, you'll see. But let me like move my camera so you can see all the other things. Look at the big keyboard. Look at the big keyboard. It's a 61 key. And here we have our infamous alpha dial at the end of this thing. So the way this thing works is you here, let's listen to it. I have a really expressive like patch in it right now that I'll go over. But let's just change Here's how we change the parameters. We go to the alpha dial, we hit the parameter select button, and then it displays the current parameter. Then we go to the alpha dial, and then we rotate it. Oh, look, now it's the LFO. So then you pick, okay, let's pick the sub-oscillator. Hold down a note. Let's change the sub-oscillator type. We go to hit value. Here, hold on, we go to hit value. Then we move the alpha dial. Right? And then we hit parameter select. We go to like, what's another good parameter? Let's go to the filter. Right? We're at this and we hit that and yeah, filter sweep. But I have to go like this to do the filter sweep. It's definitely more of a programming synthesizer. Then why, Alex? Why is this a good synthesizer? Well, you have to get a controller for it. Now, the thing with controllers for this is, and when I say controller, I mean something that gives you your sliders back, because this thing took away the sliders. Now this thing took away the sliders and in favor of the alpha dial and menu diving to select your stuff. But there's controllers. There's a vintage like PG300 or whatever that has a bunch of sliders that you plug in via MIDI. This is one of the first keyboards with MIDI, in, out, and through. So this thing uses the same like soundboard as the Juno 6, 60, and 106. It's kind of like the same chipset, but it approaches them all in totally different ways. Anywho, but you needed a controller to make it kind of like fun to play, fun to program. And the vintage controllers are like $500-$600. There's a European company that makes new controllers that are like $500-$600. Or you can do what I did, which is you get an iPad with the PG300. Now, changing multiple parameters at once is now possible with multiple fingers, which is something it couldn't do before. So you're getting sounds you already couldn't like do out of it because now you have sliders. And so this thing was, oh, and I'm using a Bluetooth MIDI, dongle. And I am trying to flip this so the iPad preloaded with this app and the Bluetooth MIDI dongle comes with this. If, you know, this video exists and this thing still isn't sold, you know, check it out. Anywho, so check out this app. This is kind of like the synthesizer structure. And we're going to build a patch. We're going to like review some other patches. What I have right now is a one I've named. I didn't feel like programming a name. But it is a custom patch. Where I wanted to emphasize the aftertouch and velocity. So like, yeah, but and look, I can go to the presets, I can change to a different preset and it automatically goes to different ones. Here's all like the bass presets. So you have a 8 by 8 you got 64 presets pre-made, and then you have 8 by 8 memory banks, 64 memory slots, and then you also have a memory cartridge if you bother doing that. But I feel like 64 like custom slots is plenty. And I've made a few here. I go to my memory. We got this one that I already showed you. This one. And you're hearing that dip there because we're doing a dip in the 6-stage envelope. Wait, 7-stage envelope. Attack. Yeah, whatever. Oh my gosh. Anywho, we're gonna get into it. Because so that's the kind of the features of the synth. It has as far as like inputs, it only has like it has got MIDI in, out, and through, and it also has a foot pedal for sustain, a foot pedal for switching between either patches or on and off portamento or activating chord mode, which you can toggle through in the menu. Or it has an expression pedal input for the volume for the VCA. And the expression pedal input, yeah, you can use CV, but it's only for the VCA, so you can't really use it to do any feedback loops or anything interesting, unfortunately. I've tried it multiple times. I could do that on the Juno 60, but that's because its expression pedal input is for its filter. And it has a self-oscillating filter, so it triggers itself when in feedback loops. This one does not do such a thing, but that is okay, because there's still tons of gnarly stuff it can do. Let's I want to go over like kind of the synth structure and a little bit of its basic sounds. We're gonna start with a blank patch. Yeah, so it resets, and what we're gonna do, I'm gonna hit an A minor chord. I'm gonna sustain it with my foot pedal. We're not hearing anything. We're going to need to do a few things. We're going to first need to turn on the VCA, open the filter, give it some levels in the envelope, and then turn on an oscillator. Yeah, so let's start with an open on-off filter, basically like a gated VCA and a gated filter. So that's just our square wave. Beautiful. And then we have a sawtooth. Let's go low. Let's go like real low. Oh, let's check our DCO. Let's go over the DCO, how it's built really quick. It has a range slider. It has 4 different ranges. You hear that? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's try different there's 5 different sawtooth shapes. This one, the third sawtooth shape, has variable pulse width. Yeah, gorgeous. So let's try the square with variable pulse width. And then the sub oscillator. Now the sub oscillator has 6 shapes, none of which have variable pulse width, but it has 6 shapes, and it has 3 levels and off. So we're just listening to the sub oscillator. How fucking gnarly is that? Oh my god. Let's just listen to that. Hear that? Yeah, that's just the low C note. Lowest on the keyboard. Well, no, hold on. There we go. Lowest C on the keyboard. Hear how that's like ridiculous. Like, why would you ever need an oscillator that low on a musical performance keyboard in the 80s? It's so cool just hearing like the low rhythms. I don't know if you all love this, but I love this. Okay, so we got our low rhythm. Let's bring in a square. Give it some pulse width modulation. See, I'm getting lost. I need to back up. Okay, in the DCO, we have so we got our range, which let's do something reasonable to demonstrate it. Yeah, so we've got the pitch can connect to the LFO. It can also connect to the envelope. Let's give it some like motion here. Let's give it an inverted thing, really high envelope, weird envelope. Check this out. And let's give it like a slower envelope. Yeah. Yeah, so goofy stuff you can do with it. So like that like low sub I was doing. Right? Let's try that with an LFO. Kind of minimal, but still cool. Anywho, where was I? Yeah, so you got the wave shapes, you got all that, and then the pulse width, which works on Pulse 3 and Sawtooth 3. The pulse width, it has a slider, and it has its own rate slider. This rate is independent of the LFO rate. So you can have LFO going on the pitch and another rate sine wave going on the pulse width modulation of the. So you can have like complex stuff going on. Just in the DCO. Oh, there's also noise. Let's listen to the noise by itself. Great. Love it. Love that noise. Let's give it some resonance. Make it go whew. No, more whew. Yeah. Okay, filter time. Filter has frequency, low pass filter, resonance. You can apply the LFO to it. You can apply the envelope to it. You can do the classic Hoover sound with high envelope, a little bit of that, like some like low sound, some envelope on the bent on the up envelope, and a little bit of like super saw. Hold on, let's get it low and gnarly. Slower. Yeah. Yeah. Anywho, sorry, just having fun there. Okay, the VCF, the filter, also has regular, inverted, regular, and then pure dynamic with 2 different dynamic options. Same with this. The dynamics is the velocity. This also has key follow for the filter and aftertouch for the filter, which is very responsive. Let's turn it all the way up. Turn this down a little. Oh. I'll turn it up a little. Yeah, so there is monophonic aftertouch. It is not polyphonic. It is monophonic aftertouch on the whole thing, and it's because like the aftertouch is only on the filter and on the pitch of the DCO, and it's pretty limited in the aftertouch. It only applies vibrato. So listen. And it's not even a very dramatic one. I mean, a little bit, but like, it's not even that dramatic. So the aftertouch is it's monophonic, and it's only really on the filter, but a little bit of wiggle on the DCO. There's aftertouch on the VCA as well. Let's get to the VCA. You have an overall level. It tends to distort when you have it high. Well, when you have it and the volume high, my volume's at about like a 2 out of 10 right now. But when you have a high VCA and a high volume, this thing will distort naturally, and it sounds pretty decent, but not great enough for me to use it. VCA has some dynamic options. It also have the aftertouch on that, so you can do like. Yeah, you get it. The chorus is gorgeous. Yeah, beautiful. I'm just gonna keep the chorus on. Envelope, 6 stage. Let's go on. Let's talk about the envelope for a second because it's a little complicated. Yeah, the envelope So you've got times and length and levels. T1, L1, T2, L2, T3, L3, T4. So you have attack level to where it goes to, attack time, attack level, decay to what level, or like change to what level. At once it reaches the first level, it'll start moving towards the second level. Then it'll start on the third time moving towards the third level, and this is your actual sustain when you hold down the note. So it follows these until it gets to this one, then it stays at that level when you hold it down, and then there's your release. So it's attack, decay, attack, decay, sustain, release. Yeah. And then it has key follow for the envelope shaping, which is fantastic, which is really fun because it tightens the times or loosens the times depending on how further up or down the keyboard it is. So, like, let's get a little like shaping here. Let's go, like, it goes up and then down and then up again. Right? But now let's do key follow up all the way. So. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That sounds so good. Oh, it's so brutal. Okay, so that's the layout of the controls. Oh, there's also the bender range, which is just like how many semitones can the bender go from, either non-active 1 to 12 semitones, and that's like the range of the bender. Let's leave it at like 4. So now I'm gonna set this down finally. Readjust my camera. Hello. Hopefully you could see all of what I was doing. Gosh. Okay, so that's kind of like the layout of the internal structure of the keyboard and the controller. And there's not many parameters. The only other thing that's over here is like there's an up and down octave button. There's a bender that if you bend it, so left and right is bending up and down. Also, if you push the bender up, it goes into modulation, which puts the LFO vibrato on the DCO. There's also a button for portamento and chord memory. I don't really fuck with chord memory. I can play my own chords. I don't know, whatever. Portamento is like glide between the voices. And let's turn that on to give you a listen. Yeah, it's fun. I'm gonna turn it off. That was kind of like the basics. Now let's get into some noise stuff. Yeah, you can always just turn on pedals, but let's talk about making something gnarly. I mentioned a few things, the Hoover, the super low stuff, and like you can kind of see. Okay, so let's build something wild here. Okay, let's give it some dynamics in the envelope, lots of enveloping, low aftertouch, like a variable pulse, like a high pulse, like there, like that, like that. I'm taking guesses here, and we're gonna see what that sounds like. Let's do a little more like that on the envelope. Let's give it some aftertouch on the filter. Dynamic envelope. Lower the filter. Lower that. Raise that. Let's go real low and nasty. Bend it. Bend our range up, and let's bend it. Yeah. Oh, it's so cool. God, that's so gnarly. I really like that a lot. It is, I was just playing a C chord. Like, oh, that's so cool. Let's listen to it through the fuzz. Cool, let's try something different. Let's lower the envelope on that. Let's yeah, not use that. Let's instead use let's do a more listenable range. Still with that low sub. Oh yeah, let's do yeah, there we go. Let's make like a slow, complex drone, right? Okay, so I'm gonna hit okay, so I got six voices down. Let's make it a little complicated. So we got let's do pulse width, LFO, and chorus. I think that's beautiful. That's just like one note I was holding down at the end there, and it's just like the pulse width and the pitch and the chorus all slowly changing. I hope that looked cool on the oscilloscope. Let's make some like more noise. Oh, let's do like a low oscillator rhythm. I want to start a new patch for this. Okay. Low oscillator rhythm. We're gonna give it some VCA. We're gonna give it. Let's just put it in gate mode and not envelope mode. Let's give it a low sub and filter. Oh, and sub volume. Oh, and low range. There we go. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna hold it down. There we go. Okay, so now we have low sub. Clicking away. So that's just a low C with sub 4. Let's add one higher C. Yeah. Let's try the next higher one. That's just C, G, C in the lowest octave. Ooh, listen to that gallop. Alright, let's try another gallop. Ooh, that's fun. I'm still holding the same chord, I'm just adjusting the sub-oscillator. But like, yeah, you could program a beat to this. So cool. Yeah. What else did I want to talk about? Yeah, this thing has a lot of different crazy stuff you can do. I'm kind of just gonna do a jam to close this out. I'm gonna dick around with it. But yeah, this thing is really fun, and I guess I'm gonna do an early conclusion here and final thoughts, and then I'm gonna play us out. So my final thoughts are. Really, this is an amazing synth with an amazing sound. It's crazy expressive with the dynamics, the velocity, and the aftertouch. It's really like you can get like. Let me go to my super expressive patch. Ooh, yeah. So it can get super expressive with the dynamics and the velocity. It's very programmable. All this stuff, once you like get it going, so it kind of sucks to program with the alpha dial, but it's a dream to program with this because once you're done, like let's say I want I save this garbage. Get out of here. This garbage patch, right? Whoa. This patch that doesn't mean anything right here. Let's say I can name it and I can write it using the Juno, and then it'll show up in here. Because look, I have my, there we go, Dehufquana Kagulnaja Paguz, you can actually name your patches. I just have been hitting randomly. Because that's how I roll. Random. Lol, so random. Yeah, so it's really expressive, and with the main thing is like I think this is really good for noise because you can do crazy like stuff with the envelope and the filter and the oscillator in regard to it, and also like the envelope is like just so complex, and like the 6 stages with the key following is really cool, and the chorus is gorgeous, but my favorite thing is the weird mathematical divisions of the analog oscillator and the sub oscillator, and like the weird pulse width wave shapes on the sawtooth. Because you have like on the pulse, like if I was to name these, I would name them like square, thin square, like pulse width square, pulse width modulation square. Then here you got like super saw, pulse width modulation. Then you have like super saw, and then like ultra spaced out super saw. I don't know what to call these. And then like the subs, like some of them are musical, some of them are clicks. It's really interesting. And balancing all of them, like you can get really complex shit. Like it's so cool. Um, but like the low clickiness is great for noise, honestly, because like you can do some kind of yeah, pretty dang cool. Um, yeah, okay, so I'm gonna play us out now. And I'm just gonna dick around for a little bit. Thank you for watching, everyone. Yeah. That's so cool. Having the dynamic envelope, dynamic key following enveloping with the affecting the pitch. It's just like look what I can do with one key. Oh, I guess you can't see what I'm doing with one key because my camera fell. Hopefully this video is not just my camera falling the whole time, but it probably is. But look what I'm doing with one key. I mean, you could hear it, but you couldn't see my fingers. Absolutely awesome. All right, cool. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for
everything. See you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.